Avi Meyers, Northtown Neighborhood News Magazine, a presentation of Sonny Hirsch and myself. Dial us up on the web at ntnm.org, communitypolicingcaps24.org. Jewish Chicago will be out in time for early voting. It is judicial season. Love interviewing judges. Love being able to introduce you to people that could affect your life more than you could ever possibly imagine, that you may not be able to meet on any other venue. I do want to give a quick plug to my friend Jack Lahane, who has a blog called For What It's Worth. I'd like to introduce you to a sitting judge, I believe, right now.
Yes, right.
And that is Judge Eileen O'Neill Burke. Do I got that right?
You got it. All three right. You got all three very well.
First of all, thank you very much. And I want to thank Top Stapka for bringing you to my attention. We met, I believe, did we meet last week at the O'Connor thing?
Yes, we did.
I do believe we did. Yeah, I knew I was going to, I came there with 5 slots open, knew I was going to pick up people for all 5. So, well, a lot of police and judge people do tend to go to O'Connor's things. Why don't you tell us about your background?
I'm a sitting circuit court judge. I've been a sitting judge since 2008. I currently sit in the commercial calendar law division, which means I hear breach of contract, fraud, conversion, legal malpractice kind of cases. Has to be over $50,000 in controversy. Most of our cases are significantly over that. I've been there for about 2 years. I've issued over 300 written opinions there. Before that, over the last 6 years, I've been in almost every single civil division. When I was in private practice, I was a Cook County State's Attorney for 10 years, and then I did criminal defense for 8 years before I came on the bench.
Wow. And where did you go to school?
I went to University of Illinois in Champaign-Urbana, and then I went to Chicago Kent College of Law for law school.
And as long as I'm asking everybody else, grammar school, high school?
St. Mary of the Woods, right up the street in Edgebrook.
Oh,
and
okay.
High school, I went to Marillac, which merged with Loyola Academy. It doesn't exist anymore.
Oh, okay.
Yeah.
Very good. Just curious. So, okay, you definitely had a varied background. Well, law. What kind of work were you doing? Did we touch on what you were doing before you became a judge?
I was a prosecutor and a defense attorney. So I did all criminal, and then when I became a judge, I switched to civil.
Right. Now, okay, the first question anybody would ask, and I happen to know the answer, so I'm cheating, is if you're a judge now, why do you need to run for judge? Because otherwise it's just a yes or no thing. But you're not running for that kind of judge.
No, I'm running for the appellate court, which is anytime somebody is displeased with the decision of the trial court, they have the opportunity to have the appellate court review. The difference, though, with, so it goes trial court, appellate court, Supreme Court. The Supreme Court only takes 3% of the cases that are appealed to it. So really the appellate court is the court of last resort for 97% of the cases. So of those 97% of the cases, over 60% are criminal appeals. So why is that important? Of the 24 sitting justices, 4 have a background in criminal law, and 1 of those is retiring. So it's not enough to say I've been on both sides of the fence for criminal law. It's not enough to say I've been a prosecutor and I've been a defense attorney. It's not enough to say I understand appellate procedure. I've written over 100 appellate briefs and I've argued 35 times in front of the appellate court. You also have to understand civil law too, because everything comes up to the appellate court. They don't separate it out. They don't say, oh, you have a background in criminal, you handle these criminal cases, or you have a background in tax, you handle these. You handle everything that comes up there. So that's why it's important to have a background that not only has criminal as a background, but also as many types of civil as you can.
No, that makes a lot of sense, and it's a completely different. I know on the rare occasions I get called for jury duty, I relish the idea of a criminal trial.
Yeah.
The last time I was called, it was for a civil medical malpractice 8-figure suit I wanted no part of.
Yeah. You know, I just did a jury last week on a personal injury case, and there's a new rule that jurors are allowed to ask questions. So it's done in a very methodical way, so they're not just shouting out questions. But I have to say that every time now I ask my juries how they felt about the jury experience afterward, and they are so much more vested in the outcome, so much more interested in the trial if they can ask questions that they think are pertinent and relevant.
You know, that's true in almost every walk of life. Anytime you get people involved, like, okay, in my spare time, I like to run my CAPS meetings. I've you know, over the years, I've been doing it 20 years, I've got to break in all these new sergeants and commanders. And in any event, when we have the meetings, it's more important for the people to be able to speak up and ask questions of the police. Then, yeah, they feel a vested interest in what's involved.
Exactly. So, a lot of the cases that I handle, the commercial cases, they're kind of dry. It's contract interpretations, was Clause 3B violated, or it's dry stuff. But when they can ask questions, it's so much more interesting to them. So at first, when we all got this rule that juries could ask questions, most judges were adamantly opposed to it. And then little by little, some were trying it and were really happy with it. So I tried it, and I have to say I'm a convert. Now I'm a big believer in juries asking questions. So
cool. I like the fact that you like the people to get involved in that way. It does make a difference, absolutely. Because, yeah, some of those cases are... I used to cover criminal court building, and some of that stuff is so dry.
Oh, yeah. Yeah, especially the autopsy reports and, the more of the evidence stuff can be dry. It's not the racy story that you hear.
No, not at all. But so let's talk a little bit about the appellate court. Now, it's interesting that you said earlier that you've written over 300 opinions because you're going to do a lot of writing in the appellate court.
Right.
So, first of all, it's not just you alone in
the appellate court. You have a panel of 3 judges, and those 3 judges will determine the decision in each case.
So there's 8 panels of 3.
6 panels of 4. So it's the 4, 3 take each case. So it's 24 total. Gotcha.
No, I knew it was something like 4 and okay.
But they rotate
You're the first
around.
appellate interview I've had
You're
this.
kidding.
No. This season.
Yeah.
Oh no.
Yeah.
I'm an old candidate appellate, but since I only do it every 2 years, I've got to refresh myself.
Yeah.
So legal scholarship becomes a very important thing also in these cases.
Yeah, very much so. Very much so. You need to be able to have a background in that law and be able to find the answer quickly. And that's why I think it's important to have a pretty varied background when you go up there. So you can at least, if you don't know the answer, you can at least know where to go to find the answer.
Yeah, I would definitely think that somebody who doesn't like to research things really would not have a place in appellate court. Now, what kind of things are you allowed to reverse a verdict on?
I'm a big believer in the trial court has the province of determining who's credible, who's not credible, and that I really think you have to defer to the trial court's judgment on that. When it comes up to the appellate court, you're looking at how was the law applied? Did they apply the law correctly? Not so much the factual interpretations, but definitely the legal interpretations. And that is what the role of the appellate court is okay, was the law adhered to and was the law applied correctly?
So in many ways, it's technical.
It's very technical. And that's why having a background in appeals and having an extensive time that I spent doing appeals is important because I understand what the role of the appellate court is and what the standard of review is. On almost every case, you're going to have a different standard of review.
No, definitely. And it is it's a whole different thing. It really is. And it's like, I have found it over the years in interviewing people going for appellate, it's a different breed of cat.
Yeah.
Who wants
you got to be an introvert, which I am. So, yeah.
No, it's true because you're going to spend your time with your nose in books the whole time.
Which is A-okay by me. My husband, I tell you, that would be what I'd prefer. So
cool. Well, Mickey's hands are about there, so I'm sure you've got a website.
I do, judgeburke.com, and my Facebook page is Elect Judge Burke.
So I want to thank very much Judge Eileen O'Neill Burke. I want to thank all of you for joining me today. I want to thank my entire technical crew, Sonny Hirsch. And I hope you'll stick around next week for more election stuff on the Northtown Neighborhood News Magazine. Thank you and good luck in the election.
Thank you.